Hi guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about what other people think of you when you're bipolar, or what it feels like other people think of you when you're bipolar, from my perspective, for me, how I feel. One of the things that I get told a lot is, oh, you're so strong, you've persevered through so much. And that's a huge compliment, and I appreciate it, and I know I'm strong to a certain extent. But when you hear it all the time, like I have, I don't know if you guys get told this, even if you don't get told this, if you have a mental illness, you are strong. You have to be, or you wouldn't be here. But when you hear it as often as I have, sometimes I feel like when my friends tell me that, who have like perfectly normal lives, that like grew up in a family that was married and went to high school, went to a normal high school, went to a normal college, never dropped out of high school, never went to alternative schools like me. When it's coming from someone who seemingly has a perfect life, it feels like they're saying, wow, you have such a shitty life. I would have killed myself by now if I was you. Or, man, your life is really sad. Like, it's great that you're able to still be here and deal with that. Like, that's how it makes me feel now. And it shouldn't make me feel that way. It should make me feel, when I was younger, when people would tell me, oh, you're so strong, I'd be like, wow, that means I'm really smart. That means that, I'm good. I'm going to be okay. But now that I'm older, it's kind of like, you know what? Yeah, you're strong for having such a boring life. Like, that's kind of what I want to say sometimes. But I know it's a compliment, and I know it's meant well. And so I should take it that way, but yeah, it bugs me. I actually wrote a song about it. The one, I'm Just Me. I'm still working on it. I don't know, I might change it a little bit. But yeah, so I was thinking about that. One of the things that really bothered me was the other day, Jeff and I were talking about graduation and how if you're a student and I'm so sorry, like right now is such a crappy time, especially if you're graduating this year. God, what a nightmare. What a bummer to graduate when it's in quarantine or graduate online. But we were talking about our graduations from college, and he was saying, who did you graduate with? And like, were any of your friends there? And I was like, yeah, I walked with Melissa, and it was amazing. It was so fun. I remember standing with her in the elevator, like I'm gonna cry. But it's sad because like it was so fun. It was so cool, right? We were like stoned out of our minds on some dirt weed, because back then weed was illegal, so you could get like really crappy weed every once in a while if you knew someone. But we were drunk on champagne. It was like 10:30 in the morning. I remember being in the elevator, and her and I were just laughing our asses off because we were late, and we were laughing that we were going to be late to our own graduation. And we were such good friends, and we had such a great time when we were younger. But the minute I had my manic episode, and because she was like somebody I considered like a best friend. Like, she was like a best friend to me for a couple of years. We hung out, we were inseparable, we were roommates. And when she found out, or when I had my episode and started having mental health issues, she disappeared. And I saw her a year, I think a couple years later, once briefly, but her husband couldn't stand me. It's so obvious when you have a friend who's married and their husband can't stand you, because they'll hang out in another room the entire time and completely ignore you. So her husband probably thought I was weird because I was bipolar and I had these crazy episodes. And the really sad thing is like in my last episode, her husband was working at a bank that I had deposited some of my retirement money into, and I would go in there out of my mind, you know, dressed weird and rambling and talking nonsense and stuff. And one day I actually talked to him. I sat down and talked to him, her husband, and I was like, oh yeah, tell Melissa to call me and blah, blah, blah. And at the time, her and I were connected on social media. So he had to have told her, like, yeah, your friend came in here like out of her mind, but she never reached out to me. She didn't care. She just, you know, oh, she's weird, you know, like, oh, that person's weird. So what I guess what I wanted to talk about today was, you know, it's really difficult when you're someone with a mental illness to not be affected by how people think about you. And I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, it hurts like crazy when you lose friends, because I'm sure if you have a mental illness, you're somebody that has watched friends walk away from you when they found out that you had issues. It's just how it is. Friends are so few and far between. But it's also like, I often have this thought in my head, like, oh, you know, my friends, they feel sorry for me. You know, they think like, oh, she's the one that just, she's crazy. You know, she has all these issues, you know, like, oh, she's a mess. You know, she has mental health issues, or she's bipolar, or she's crazy. These are things that happen in my mind that I think other people are saying about me. Even though they necessarily may not be saying those things, the reality is people are saying those things. And I have to somehow not let it affect me. And I think when you're someone who's bipolar or has a mental illness or has some sort of, you know, if you're obese, if you are too skinny, if you're, you know, you don't think, you know, you have a giant mole or something, you know, you're insecure about something, you're going to think that everyone around you is judging you by that and looking at that. And it's hard not to let that get to you, especially when it's your brain, you know, like when it's your mind, when people think, you know, like, oh, they're just like, that person's just like out of their, or they're, it's so sad, the stuff that they have to deal with, you know, like, I don't know, that really sucks. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I did not do a vlog yesterday. I wanted to record last night, but instead I ended up just sitting in front of the TV and watching American Idol, which was a really total bummer season. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Can you relate? Do you think that it's annoying when people tell you how strong you are? Anyway, that's all. Have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.